Hello, I am Chantal Blanchard on behalf of Noisography. I am here with Bass Bias to my right and Lazer Squid on my left. We are here at the Bassment Bump Volume 2 at the Argyle. So this is a very special night for these guys, because not only is it a show, they're releasing an album, compilation album. Are you guys excited about that?
Yeah, we are.
We're very excited.
All right, now I'm going to introduce these guys. Well, let them do it. I'm going to start with Lazer Squid.
Hello, I'm Everett Stone. I am kind of like the technical director / artist support of Lazer Squid.
I'm Jon Bob. I do all the artistic direction and make shit happen. It's fun.
My name's Justin Payne, the Juice, repping Bass Bias 902.
My name is Justin Bishop. My artist name is Soapbox Surgeon, and I'm kind of the technical guy for the Bass Bias.
Big ups to the other members of Bass Bias, Belgium, Netherlands Connection, and our homies Doc Brown and Matt London.
All right, so I'm going to start with the Bass Bias. So when did you actually start doing Bass Bias?
It started off actually as a conspiracy bass show that I started by myself, and it was the Juice 902. And then I went tree planting and befriended Matthew Higdon, Retroid, Matt London, these many names. And we were still very heavily into Truth Movement, but we found that we were given so little time, a radio slot, kind of what it started out as. He started kind of helping me out with it. So we decided to dedicate it all to bass. And we decided, since at that point he was kind of the other half of it, we kind of wanted to rebrand it. And Bass Bias just kind of popped out. I think it was him that actually came up with the name. We were just kind of shooting names back and forth, and it just kind of sounded right. So probably 3 or 4 years, I guess, probably like of actually being in the bass scene, probably 2 years of actually like Bass Bias and the whole Bass Bias radio and records thing. And one of the biggest members actually lives in the Netherlands, Debacle. He made our logo, gave me a lot of good advice on like mastering and just kind of like how to kind of start this type of thing. So yeah, big ups.
Now I'm going to ask Lazer Squid the same question. How long have you guys been doing this? What caused you to start up all that fun stuff?
We started in December of 2010, so it's almost our 4-year anniversary, right about this week actually. We started because myself, Everett, so many other of our friends had a lot of talent that we realized could be used in a record label, and we were all making really good music. We became friends with all these producers, but everyone was releasing elsewhere. We were releasing, like overseas or other places in Canada or North America. And we felt that to really cement the scene here, to make it sort of like real to anyone on the outside, we had to start publishing the music here. So that's what kicked it off.
We really didn't have any support for anyone actually producing music in Halifax. So our initial goal was to like get all those people working together, kind of give them some motivation, kind of get a little more organized than what it was, as opposed to people like as Jonathan said, just like spilling stuff out of their basement. Now we're collecting everything with our tentacles and focusing it out into one nice
inky blast.
Well said.
And that also puts me to another point of like our EDM community here has been growing a lot lately. How do you guys all feel about that, and like what things have you been doing to help that out?
I kind of left that out in the beginning. Why we started was there were other electronic shows in town, but the kind of like bass-centric thing wasn't quite taken off. It had been with like Bass Rebel Radio. We're definitely not the first to do it. I mean, growing up, whether it was like techno or rap or metal, whatever it was, the thing that kind of captured me, and it was the same way with Higdon and Tristan, was that bass, and then we found bass music. And before we found the term dubstep, which we actually found from Skins, which is a UK kind of like Degrassi, we used to just call it slime techno or grudge techno. I guess I forgot out on the original part why we got into bass in the beginning is because it just, that was, we were passionate about it. It wasn't to get laid. It wasn't to make money. It was because that feeling we got, like, I mean, I still remember the first time going to the first Datsik show ever, and that feeling, just like, goosebumps.
So yeah, how do you guys feel about building up our EDM community?
I think this is a pretty complex question because Halifax is in a very unique situation compared to other cities. We only have about 300,000 people in Halifax, which is like 1/10 of Montreal. A big show in Halifax is like 300 people, whereas in Montreal, 300 people could be an utter failure. But what that also does is that means that everyone knows who everyone is in the scene. It makes it like a small town. Like you basically form a legitimate small community in the city. So the power that we have growing here is something really special. I think a good example to answer your question is like Future Forest. We basically started structuring it around like a private party for just the scene. But when you're there, it's crazy. It's like all the people who actually care about the scene and care about contributing to the community, which in big cities you get that, but it's not as personal in a big city as it is here. Like,
All right, so let's go with the cheesy questions of who is your biggest musical influence?
I didn't actually start my music career liking electronic music. I started liking Led Zeppelin and Steve Vai and all the big shredder people. Like, I didn't get into electronic until like 2009 when just started to get really popular. So I'm not gonna say I jumped on the bandwagon, but it was a while ago. So I was really into Deadmau5 and his first album, and so yeah, that was huge for me. So that's how I started.
I grew up in a musical family, not like electronic music oriented, but I was always kind of into that. I think the first electronic groups I really knew, probably grade 6, Affected Mushroom and GMS. But Korn was a huge influence. Fuck the haters. It's that grungy, like, Mobb Deep, I guess, on the hip-hop side, kind of like that bubbly, minimal hip-hop. I guess, yeah, I have a lot of influences. And one of the biggest ones for me with electronic was video games growing up. Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis, those, like, 8-bit synths, those were huge for me. And Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast. That's it.
Square Pusher, Outkast, Daft Punk.
I'm going to go a little bit off track because it kind of relates to this question. Is like how we initially got started into electronic music, because me and Jonathan basically started this together when Jonathan's dad bought SimTunes. Basically like these weird little animated bugs that walked over colored blocks, and you could put in like your own drum patterns and they made sounds. So we got really into that. Then we got into Fruity Loops, and then it just kind of kept evolving from there.
I love it, guys. Now I want you all to tell me about where I can find your guys' stuff online and all that stuff.
Lazer Squid has a Bandcamp page which has all our albums. A lot of them are available for free or pay what you can. The album that we're releasing right now, the Lazer Squid Bass Bias one, will be available off our Bandcamp page and on Bass Bias SoundCloud page. So soundcloud.com/bassbias or lazersquid.bandcamp.com.
The radio show every Sunday night, big ups to CKDU Radio. That's where you can find us every Sunday night, 9 to 12, Bass Bias Radio. Also, www.thejuice902.com.
Let's be honest, like our web presence is getting pretty good now. If you just type in Bass Bias or Lazer Squid into Google, everything you need is going to be on that front page there.
Thank God for the internet. Well, thank you guys for coming out. This was great. Remember, check them out on Facebook, all the Bandcamp, SoundClouds. Also, if you're looking to find out what's happening in Halifax on any given weekend, check out Womp Halifax or Stomp Halifax. I update that weekly to let you know what's happening. So check it out. Enjoy this video. We'll see you later. Have fun. Keep on dancing. Have fun. Be safe. Peace.